Thank you so much and welcome to the second hour of the dialogue. Still, Women's Day special edition. My name is Prince Apollo. On the show this morning, Dr. Sylvia Nambiru, the Executive Director for LASPONET, Legal Aid Suppliers.
Legal Aid Service Providers
Legal
Network.
Aid Service Providers Network.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Ambassador Edith Sempala is in the studio, and Charity, you're not a doctor yet. Charity Ahimsibe Karebu, a human rights defender, is also with us. But we are reflecting on the progress in women empowerment programs and initiatives. In the studio, Charity Ahimsibe Karebu, Dr. Sylvia Nambiru, and Ambassador Edith Sempala. Still looking at how women are helping each other and everyone to understand what empowerment is all about. And in this segment, we'll be looking at women in positions of influence. How are they helping women elsewhere to understand these issues? Charity, before we go there, did you conclude on the issue of the mindset?
No, I didn't.
Please conclude.
Now, if you look at the gender policy of Uganda, it has a facet of mindset. But the aim of that mindset in the gender policy is actually to deal with the mindset of men towards women.
Oh, yeah.
And towards emancipation of women. That men should not think about it as women have come to overtake them and have come to overthrow their authority or position in society. So the question of mindset there in the Uganda national gender policy is that there will be raising of awareness, like Dr. Sylvia is saying, over key issues. For example, education. While we say that we have affirmative action and many women have now gone to school, and sometimes the numbers of the girls who have sat for PLE, for S4, for S6 have been more than the boy child. It doesn't mean that we have overtaken the men in the number of people who are educated. Sure. Why? Because the question of marginalization of women started from the 1940s, and it grew and went on until the 80s before interventions to help the girl child started. So all that happens in the mindset that they are teaching men that this is how society is. And also when you look at the period of COVID-19, that is fast forward to the recent times, the people who got pregnant during that COVID-19 period were girls. And some of them have not got an opportunity to go back to school. And they are a big number. Now, if you don't take them back to school and you leave them to be as they are, you will affect society gradually. Why? Because you educate a woman, you educate a nation.
Yeah.
If you want to change for development, you need to find a way of getting those girls back to school, or skilling them, or giving them knowledge. Because you have very many women who have gone to school now. Primary health care is a big issue in homes. People wash their hands, people take boiled water. Now we don't have those communicable diseases which were a result of dirtiness in the home. That people would take dirty water, there is a lot of cholera. Government saves on those on primary health care because of an educated woman. So it is important that we look at the question of mindset holistically. It's not just for the men, but it's also for the women. It's also for policy makers to understand where are we at in terms of development and where do we want to go and how do we get there.
Thank you. I appreciate that men, the mindset also has, mindset change also includes men to understand that their space is not being invaded in any way, threatened. It's important. And It's a message here. Good morning, Apollo and the panel. Happy Women's Day to all the women of this great country.
Amen.
To me, I entirely agree with having women empowered. But my challenge here is when we start talking about women emancipation, some people start thinking that in a home or a country, a woman should be seen exactly as a man, which to me, I think we get it wrong. Let us allow our dear women to also be given a role in the development of this country. For example, participate in politics freely, own property, be given room in taking decisions, and be given favorable ground to compete with women in various sectors. But we should not think that women emancipation means a woman becoming a man in this regard.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the educative show, the dialogue. I am Abel Keru Ampumuza. Thank you so much, Abel Keru, and others who are sending in messages. I'll be reading the messages in the next 10 minutes. Producer, run the number on the screen. We need those comments and observations. Let's hear what people think about women emancipation and empowerment. Here, from this message, that clash that clash of laws. I don't know if it's a clash of laws, but men thinking that this is all about taking up their spaces and it threatens them. And it's good Charity brought it out. Now the mindset also goes to men, how they think and look at this thing.
Yeah.
Have men been really, engaged and involved in all this? Do you think they have been? Because looking at where this problem arises, actually in this particular week, there is a story that ran in Busoga where is it an 11 or 12-year-old girl who was sent into forced marriage by his parents, and they were saying, "You're ready to go for marriage. For us, we have decided." And these are men, majorly these are men who are pushing these girls into early marriages. So, do you think men have been involved enough to understand this whole program?
I think that men actually need a lot of empowerment, mindset empowerment. Because how do you feel threatened that somebody is actually rising in their own space? Because I think we have all talked about the fact that we all complement each other. We are not aspiring to be men. We are aspiring to be better women, stronger women. And men should also aspire to be men and stronger men. And together we work together to make better, stronger society. So there is no clash. There shouldn't be a clash. I think it is a complex, first and foremost, because if you know who you are, you are not easily threatened. You don't think that somebody else rising, they are rising at your expense. No, there is space for all of us.
Sure.
Yes. So I think that is why these kind of conversations and dialogues are very healthy and very good.
Sure.
Because, because sometimes you fear what you don't know.
Fear of the unknown.
Yes, the fear of the unknown. You perceive, you take it as a fact, and you start acting on it.
Yeah.
That is the problem.
That is the problem.
So, and I would like also to say that this has to start from the very beginning, from the home. I would like to see women, mothers especially, empower their girls to be, to know that as girls, they are endowed with everything to succeed, to fulfill their dreams. And always equally.
Exactly.
Empower the boys equally. If you have boys and girls, for me, actually I have only daughters. Now I have grandsons. So I think I've been compensated. But if I had, if I had sons, I would socialize them as children equally.
Actually, Ambassador, I'm sorry to interrupt, but others think that is the problem also, where all the efforts now are geared at empowering girls, not and ignoring boys. I mean, sons.
I don't think that they are actually ignoring boys per se. The challenge we have now, and I was discussing it with some young women, that actually there is a young woman who is a friend of mine, and she has had challenges in her early marriage. And she said, actually what you are saying, she said, mutu empowering. She was saying in Uganda, she said, mutu empowering.
But they will be married to men who are not.
Meaning that now the boys have actually absconded. They have retreated. They feel their space has been taken or is being taken. And therefore they run away. They come into relationship, they have children, they run. No responsibility at all.
Sure.
I think this is something as women actually we must think about, because you cannot have a society of only women or of only men, of only empowered women and only or empowered men. Everybody must be empowered.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I am Talema Byron from Bushenyi. These days, women are standby generators. I don't get right.
Standby generator.
I don't get exactly the context, but thank you so much for. If you can send another message and then you elaborate more,
Standby.
we really appreciate.
Generator.
I think that means they are indeed, they have potential, but they are on the sidelines. I don't know what they are meaning, because that's the context I can read from the message, that they have potential, but they've been left on the sidelines.
I hope that is what
is creating a new stereotype.
Okay. Please send in your comments and observations. Tell us what you think about this, the progress of women emancipation and empowerment. This little time that we are left with, let's address the issue of women who, for instance, are in parliament, members of parliament, because there are more than 200 women members of parliament, because each district.
Let's look at the statistics a bit better.
Yes.
The true number, we have 529 MPs.
Yes.
There are 173 women MPs.
Okay.
I mean, women.
Women.
For both constituency and the
directly elected
constituency and the district woman MP.
Yes.
Remember that the district woman MP is from affirmative action. So 146, without the
Those
146, we would have had only 16 women in parliament. So if affirmative action was away, okay, the 146, the district woman MP, it would be only 16 women who would be there, who have competed.
Thank God, affirmative action has brought these leaders in those spaces.
Yes,
you
but
even
then
have.
I'm still also telling you that the number is not yet measuring up.
You even have the speaker in chair.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Still the numbers are not measuring up.
I am asking Charity, have these women really helped this effort and push for women emancipation? Have they advocated for better livelihoods of young girls and young women out there?
You see, I like the question you're bringing. While we reflected on the Women Manifesto, which we just are yet to launch, we are, UNET says we shall launch that manifesto at the beginning of next month. But we reflected on it in what we call a stakeholder review meeting at Onomo Hotel. We discovered that there is a backlash. The backlash is people are saying because we have talked about Women's Day for a very long time, and we've been saying women emancipation, the numbers, there's been parity and there is equality. But we in that conference, we were able to prove using numbers that there is no equality and there is no parity yet. Those are two terminologies. I'll leave Sylvia to explain to you parity.
You have to explain
but equality, let me stick with it. I will explain it well, but I know you will do better. You'll pick on and proceed with it. So when we look at, for example, the LC5 chairpersons, there are 146. There are only 3 women who are LC5 chairpersons. Why? Because there is still the mentality that this seat belongs to the man. And in the districts, we have what we call women district councillors. Now that is affirmative action.
It is working.
It was put there in the law after it was discovered that women were not participating
From LC1
in politics. Yes.
all through the structures.
Now, if you take away
There
that
are women.
affirmative action, we are saying you will not see them.
Yeah, true.
Why? Because if equality was working, then they should have been able to compete effectively with the men. And so the question you're asking me is a very clever question. You're asking me, these women who are in parliament, have they fought for the ones who are down, or have they trampled down on them? And my answer to that is going to be, let them be in parliament for the time being, as we work out the equality and the parity issues. Let them be there. Why? Because when they are there,
why can't
when
we
they are
question
there, they inspire the ones who have not yet come.
Okay.
I know they have not done well. I don't want to criticize them. Because if I do, then I begin to pull down even on the small numbers that are already existing. If I fight what is already there, it's like if you've given me bread, okay, that is good enough, but I want chicken. I'm looking at the chicken. When the chicken comes, we shall choose whether I'm eating bread or chicken. But for now, this bread better stay secure. This is what I am doing. So I know that the women have not done too well in bringing up the other women. For example, there are women who have sat on the affirmative seat for 20 how many years?
True.
26 years, 30 years, 18 years, and have not left that seat for another woman to come in. I am aware of all that. But let them be for the time being. Because when we take away the affirmative action, then we'll have less of them coming. Let them stay there to inspire the ones who want to come.
All right.
But let them also begin to reflect on the question of why was the affirmative action started? The ones now who are already here, the bread that we have. Let them begin to reflect, why was it affirmative action? It was because we were supposed to help others to come on board.
True.
Not that we stay on board.
Exactly.
That once I am on board, I stay there alone. That is why people who have been executive directors sometimes move away and move for other things, and they bring on another woman, empower her, and put her in a place.
That's
or
how it
they
should
empower her in court, or they empower her in a structural system. They carry them on and help them, put them particular places, the influence, and also bring others into that space. That when you take Charity to the UN, she'll go with 20 women. Great. But if you take her to the UN and she stays there alone, then there is nothing she is achieving.
I appreciate the position you have decided to take to not to look as if you're attacking. But I think as from where they stand, they have a voice. Apart from inspiring and being role models of these young girls, but they have a voice, like in parliament. You can can be witnessed when are these issues of women really, had on the floor of parliament and young girls. For instance, we know that some girls have been dropping out of school
because of
lacking of menstrual tissue and those small things.
And the tax
but
on
how
the pads
often
is still there. Yeah.
have we had women MPs who represent women raising these issues and saying, maybe taking extreme measures that we are not going to attend a session if this issue is not tabled? I don't know if that can make impact or not.
It can.
But that's what I'm saying, that as you decide to, not to attack them, but there are ways. There are very many other ways of how they can. Dr. Namwiru, do you think they have these women in position? And let's not only limit ourselves to members of parliament, but even you people who have been in places, you are in a very pole position to speak for men, and you've done it. Me, I know you, and I know Charity and everyone. You have done it, but your colleagues have really done exactly that, what is expected of them.
Okay. Yeah, of course, we all strive to be better and to do the best we can. But usually also the context matters. And it depends on what context you are judging a particular cohort of women and what they've been able to do. I'll start with the issue of parity, because he said I should explain more about parity, which is, of course, the quality of being equal or not. So if we are in the same place of work, yes, and we are men and women, how is the pay? Is there parity? Are we being treated equally, or among others? But now to go to the specific to women in power or women in places of influence, it also depends. And she spoke about role modeling. Spoke about purpose. Purpose-driven lives. You'll find that we have different champions in different areas. And those champions have really been role models. And they have really helped, and people are looking at them, and they've created changes in their spaces. She may be here and very quiet, but when she's in auntie and she's seated in that position of decision in her party, there are certain things, because she's already an emancipated woman, a woman who sees far with a strategy, she'll be able to strategize. Things may not materialize right now, but those who are close or those who are following what she's doing, they will see them doing it. But also we have women in public spaces, and we are watching. And you make comparison. We are not only after numbers. I'd rather have two people that are going to create a change than having numbers where there's no quality.
That's important.
We are in parliament, and there are issues related to corruption. You are mothers, and you know the impact and the effects of having a corrupt system. We need to hear you. We need to see you stand and be firm. Your voice has to come out, not to go into group votes, group discussion.
They actually hide.
At the end of the day,
those group votes.
She said, when you educate a mother, you are educating a nation. So if you, the mother, you are not going to speak on the evils. You see women being bungled up in politics who are coming after you. They are injured. And you keep quiet because you are playing to the gallery, you are playing safe. Those are the challenges that the women of today are facing.
Actually,
when you take them back to the original members of parliament, I will not shy away from mentioning figures like Miriam Matembe, Winnie Byanyima of their time, the late Cecily Ogwar. They were not many, but they were numbers.
They created impact.
And you would feel them. We knew them as young women, human rights defenders, and you could depend on them and say, this issue has come, probably take it to Miriam Matembe. She will speak about it. But now when we have this 100, and there are certain issues that are not being spoken about, and we have issues like, now let me give you an example, the legal aid law that we are pushing, that is helping majority of women access justice. We would like to see a woman in charge passing that law, but it is there, it's sold. So for me, when we go to other spaces, like I'm a judicial officer or you were a lawyer, and the issues to do with women, like gender-based violence cases, and they are before you, and you are supposed to take a decision, And I'll use an example of numbers, justice by numbers and not quality. And we are doing plea bargain, and you see a gentleman who defied a 3-year-old, and you are busy giving a free bargain, and the sentence that has been brought, because it's negotiated, you are not looking at the effect on the majority of victims in that category, and you are quickly checking the number. And you're not giving quality justice to come out of your decision. Are you making an influence? You're a woman in media.
Yeah.
And there are issues to do with the media freedom and the speech, or issues affecting fellow women in media, and you have a space and you're not speaking about it.
Just silent.
You are a woman in the market and you're a leader, and you see that many of your fellow women in that market are facing domestic violence, but you are the leader and you are saying, you women, submit to your husbands. Keep quiet, put water in the mouth, and stay in there and cook. That you are not doing your work. So when we are talking about women in all, even us, cases come and you need to speak out on them, and you are quiet. I will not speak about this case. When this case is politically charged, ABCD. Again, we are failing our fellow women. So we are now more in positions of influence. But the situation of gender-based violence continues.
Thank you.
The situation of dropout continues. The situation of marrying off girls continues. And we are all like, it's okay, we are playing safe and we are pushing our
genital mutilation is back.
So we are just
And
pushing
yet before
safe
it
space.
had gone.
These days, the women,
in
these
position
earlier elders of ours,
playing
were
safe.
more generous than us.
Yes.
We are playing safe space. We are in our own interest and we are driving our own agenda. And as a result, we are going back.
That's so sad.
Yes. Yeah.
Good morning. This
That
is
also fair.
Yeah.
Fair comment.
Yeah, true. Good morning. This is Paula viewing from Bushenyi. Thank you for this program. This issue of woman emancipation has been delivered wrongly. It's like women are being empowered to attack men. I feel we need more education and knowledge on women emancipation. You see, more sensitization is lacking. That is the message we can pick now.
We're not attacking men.
No, the context, I think she's presenting it is different, but he says, hey, I am Robin Maiga. While there is a pressing need for increased efforts to empower women, it is also essential to acknowledge that women must support one another. Has the Speaker of Parliament addressed the issues of women facing torture, abduction, and even murder, in their pursuit of justice and better governance? Has she made any statements regarding the plight of mothers, ladies?
I agree.
Ladies, let's listen here. Has the Speaker of Parliament addressed the issues of women facing torture, abduction, and even murder in their pursuit of justice and better governance? Has she made any statements regarding the plight of mothers whose loved ones have been abducted or killed? Has she, those other ladies in ministry offices, made any statement about thuggery that is happening in Parliament and other institutions which directly or indirectly affects women? Additionally, Moses' remarks on women have been sexualizing in nature. Has anyone condemned his behavior? Greetings to you all. Thank you so much,
Very good comment,
Robin.
there.
Thank you so much for that comment. Hi, Soul TV. Happy International Women's Day to all the amazing women. As we celebrate, let's also address the challenges women face: domestic violence, economic empowerment, and equal opportunities.
Yes,
together, we must uplift and protect our mothers, sisters, and daughters. A better future starts with us. He's Alex Kawoya, born to win from Bombo Karule. Thank you so much, Alex. Okay. Good morning, Prince Apollo. Thanks for the dialogue. I concur with the gender parity / woman emancipation. Over 30% in Parliament and other leadership structures, women are great managers. Meanwhile, empower these boys to have the mantle to marry the girls. Allow me joke. Next time, Apollo, let a lady host the show to honor a woman's week. Emma Wangoro is a writer,
They have you.
an analyst, and he subscribes to Inspire Africa from Uganda on YouTube. Thank you so much. I take it, but we agreed with these ladies that
yes, and
women
you are
must
doing
move
a-
with men.
Yes, absolutely. And
But,
you are
but
doing a
Apollo,
good job.
he has a good point we can't drop there.
Yeah.
If you see all men who respect their wives and the good men that exist in society, it's because they've been raised by their mothers.
Yeah, true.
Men who have not been raised by their mothers and duties relegated to housemaids are the ones that are animals because they were fighting for their space from that time. But the mothers who brought up their sons taught them to respect each other and people in spaces. Mwana wange tokola kino, don't do this, do this. They have done a good job. So mothers should do their job.
Yes.
Don't relegate your job to anyone. Look after your children. Put values in them, which doctor and I think ambassador did talk about. Instill values in them, not instill those values. Let them come as distinguished men who will respect
Yes.
women, and also let the women come as distinguished women who will respect their husbands.
Doctor, I think, have I given you time to respond to this, the issue of women in positions not doing enough or doing enough? You can conclude if you have one comment before I go back to Ambassador.
Yeah, I think I spoke about it, and I said
And
that
from the messages I have read,
yeah,
you should respond a bit if you pick a certain interest in a certain comment.
maybe just the comment that the men should be taught how to marry.
Yeah.
I think
That
she
you should
alluded
be
to it.
mentored and
Mentored. I think yes. Emphasis
To have
is
the
put
courage
on
to
the
marry
girl
these women.
child. Yes, emphasis is put on the girl child to prepare them right from childhood. It's like they are raising them to marry and please the other opposite sex. And at the end of the day, now you realize that when men get married or when they start families, they leave most of the responsibility of upbringing the child to the mother. Just take a quick check on the visitation day, on the
women.
parents' day.
They are mostly women.
You will find the women, they are the ones there. The father thinks I've given school fees, and that is it. You go. So I think, and also the women, the boy child is also becoming weaker in one or another. That's why you find most of them these days, they are looking out to women. They are youth, but they are looking out to old women to provide for them. So we need to balance.
All right.
So that we can complement and be strong as a society.
Ambassador Edith.
That's true.
Yeah, Ambassador Edith. Somebody talked about numbers vis-a-vis. Is it quality? Is it assertiveness to speak? And we have many. Actually, those numbers are many in Parliament and elsewhere. But
they are not enough.
Okay, if they are not enough.
They are not enough, and it doesn't have to be either or. It should be both.
Okay, it should be both. But what I'm saying, they talked about that time when we had Honorable Maria Matembe, Dr. Maria Matembe, in that Parliament, and Engineer Winnie Byanyima. Few of them. But you would feel it that these women are actually. Yes, you'd feel it.
Cecilia.
Speak about it, Ambassador.
Yeah.
Kadaga did his
even Right Honorable Kadaga did
yes,
a great
even
job.
Honorable Kadaga.
Yes. So I really believe that quality is key. It is key in terms of decision making, in terms of even role modeling.
Sure.
Because if we are many women there, of course the women, the young girls can say, oh yeah, you can become a speaker, you can become a member of parliament, a woman member of parliament, but what kind of member of parliament?
Exactly.
Because we really, as a society, we need to have quality society, and quality society is brought about by quality leaders. So that is why, for me, I believe that, it is better to have less but high quality, But of course, we must aspire for more. And I think, it should be, we are majority in Uganda.
Yeah.
So having more girls in parliament, or more women in parliament, or having more in universities or in the workplace,
It's inevitable.
is not really replacing. It is just proportional to the numbers that we have in society. And it is not a bad idea, because any society that can really get the majority of its people to use uselessness will not develop, definitely. But let me also talk to the issue of, the issue of quality of leadership of women depends on us. It depends on us. It is we who have to determine that we have to be quality leaders.
Exactly.
And that to be also role models. That is the way we can lift up young women. When they look at us, the women know, yes, we can, and we must be quality human beings, actually, whichever space you are in, that than just occupying space. So it is a question of even respecting ourselves, really. So I believe that if we do that, we are not harming anybody. We are actually up, fulfilling what Sylvia said, that you educate a woman, you are educating a nation.
Yeah.
We are not, personally, I'm very concerned about boys.
Sure.
Because I see the level of single motherhood
It's very high.
is very, very high.
Just produce
We must address this issue. The issue of, even young men wanting to have relationship with the older women.
Imagine.
That is an abomination, in my view. Both, even I don't know how women can really accept that kind of thing. You are
So
an old
it's a
woman.
consequence of
The construct.
of how we are
upbringing.
approaching this issue of women empowerment. You say
Not only. It is, it is the value system that a woman, an older woman, can accept to have a young boy who is a son, who is supposed to be a son.
Yeah.
Now as a husband.
True.
And it is also a question of this boy seeing an older woman, old woman who is fit to be a mother, as a wife. How? It is also the issue of, you see, we all aspire for good things.
Yeah.
And it is important that we should be ambitious and we should aspire for those good things. But we must also be contented where we are while we are working hard to achieve better.
Ambassador, thank you so much. We're running out of time. Paulo, today we celebrate incredible contributions and achievements of women around the world. Women's Day is a time to honor the strength, resilience, and determination of women who have paved the way for progress and equality. It's a day to recognize the challenges women continue to face and to recommit ourselves to creating a more just and equitable society. Let us take this opportunity to uplift and support the women in our lives and work towards a future where gender does not limit anyone's potential. Happy Women's Day to all the trailblazers, leaders, and change makers out there. Bernard is my name, and greetings to my mom, Dr. Sylvia.
What? Bernard? Wow, Lukwago. Send me that.
I will share it.
Yes,
we only have...
That is your son?
No.
He has mentored.
Yeah.
So you understand now that you women have children everywhere.
Yes.
Even here on TV, you speak, you can end up, having people who look up to you as a mother quickly. Men need respect A shoulder can never be on top of the head. Alex Don Chegegwa. Well, those are the messages, and those are actually those are the issues we have to continue speaking about.
Mindset change for
Mindset
him.
change.
Who brought a
I am running out of
man.
time. Charity, I am running out of time. I only have 3 minutes. I request that in 35 seconds, conclude and give us your parting shot, especially to women.
Okay, so Apollo, when I saw the discussion tagline, it had what we called roadblocks. And I want to address my mind to the key issues. In education, we have gained,
Yeah.
but there are still roadblocks there. I have tried to highlight a few of them. I said there are women who get pregnant and fall out of school. We need to have a plan for them.
Yeah.
And I have also said that on the health, we are doing badly. And my key message, especially for women in positions of power, is to lobby on the issue of health for women.
Sure.
When a woman goes through childbirth stage and struggles to pay millions in hospital, that is when it strikes and dawns on them that actually we are still behind in the issue of maternity and management of women issues during the childbirth stage. Now, also we have many issues to do with the menstruation, which you talked about, and the taxes on pads, and how the president promised us more than 6 years ago. I'm winding up, Apollo. But I need the question of health addressed by our women leaders.
Thank you.
And finally, the question of financial inclusion. When you give women loans, don't ask them for collateral. Because if you look at the rural woman, they don't have the collateral.
Dr. Sylvia, just 30 seconds, please.
Of course, me, I can't live without speaking access to justice. We have to ensure that every woman at the lowest can be able to access justice of choice. So let us address the justice needs of the women, especially those that are facing domestic violence, gender-based violence, those that are being deprived of property. And we need the law that is going to enable
Are women in parliament supportive of your efforts to have the legal service?
Yes, they are. So, but they need, however, to tackle the bottleneck, which is now government that has not had the will to move it to the next level. So, my call is at least the women in power, especially in parliament, should really give that a priority, because 80% of Ugandans cannot afford services of private lawyers, and the 80 means that women then are 70 of that 80. Finally, I want to thank and appreciate all those who have contributed to this program, and to wish them a happiest Women's Day, and to the management of Top Radio.
Thank you.
Thank you for Salt Radio, Salt TV.
Salt TV.
Yes. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity.
Thank
Bernard, I greet you.
Yeah. Dr. Ambassador, just 30 seconds.
Thank you very much, Apollo. Thank you very much, Salt TV. Happiest Women's Day, all women everywhere. We've come a long way. We have a long way to go. Yes, we can. And let us also, especially address the issue of quality leadership. If you're a woman and you're a leader out there, you must understand that the only way you can be a role model is when you're a quality leader.
Amen.
That is important. My name is Prince Apollo. I have to appreciate my panel. Thank you so much, Ambassador. It's a privilege to have you on the dialogue this morning, and it's a maiden show. I hope it's not the last one. Dr. Sylvia, you always come. Thank you so much. Whenever
happy to be
we invite you, you are available. Charity, you are... Actually, you ran away, but you were...
No, I didn't.
You are our resident
I'm resident.
Here.
I'm still coming.
Thank you so much for these insights. I think this conversation was very, very important, especially at this time when we are talking about inclusive development. Wish you a very, very happy Women's Day. Good afternoon. God bless you. God bless Uganda.